Greetings, fellow Leonardo DiCaprio mauling bears. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. Oh dear God, BlueDragonFive, I think that bear has just cemented itself in film history, and it's just always going to be a gag now. Just thank you, Jonah Hill. Thank you. There are no bears in San Francisco.
I saw a really hairy guy once. He looks like a bear.
So, BlueDragonFive, I did my Academy Award nomination reaction video the morning it came out, Thursday. Unfortunately, the same morning that Alan Rickman passed away. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, Rickman and Bowie in the same week, man. It's been hitting us hard. It's been hitting us. And the voice of Robin Hood as well. Robin Hood from the Disney classic also passed away this week. But,
the bummer of a week.
Yeah, I woke up early in the morning, so that podcast that I recorded I was very groggy. I was not in a good state, and worst of all, I was like really trying to keep my voice down, so I didn't even think my audio was all that good. So I have you on BlueDragonFive, so now we can actually get a running commentary, a good discussion going on these Academy Award nominations and really kind of flesh them out. Because I didn't do them justice when I just did my early morning, okay, let's see, this is nominated, this is nominated, I think this will win, I think this will win. That's literally the amount of effort I put into that older video. So overall, BlueDragonFive, I know you haven't actually seen a lot of these big contenders.
I haven't.
So The Revenant is definitely the big front runner. The Revenant is definitely getting the most momentum.
Well, I think I've gauged the reactions and the kind of the predictions a lot, especially by our 2015 film video. I kind of got the gist of some of these movies.
Absolutely. So I am the one.
But, bear in mind, you're right though, I haven't seen all of them, so but they're obviously going to be skewed in lack of knowledge in most of these categories. The foreign film category, I'm not really have any opinions on.
I have no idea what any of the foreign films are. I'm
exactly, sorry. Which is always kind of a sticking point with the Oscars.
I know.
We really have no idea what the foreign film category.
Okay. But let's just jump right into it. This is just going to be kind of a light, breezy podcast. We're just going to kind of go through the nominations, kind of talk about anything that we maybe wish would have been nominated.
Some Oscar snobbery that is kind of recurrent.
Yeah. And also just kind of what we think will win and what we think should win. So
yeah, sure, certainly.
All right, so let's just start it off at the bottom of the official Oscar page with Best Original Screenplay. And we got Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, Straight Outta Compton. What do you think?
Well, personally, what I think should win, I think it actually has a good chance of winning, would be Inside Out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Inside Out. Spotlight, man. Spotlight grabbed you. I'm still thinking about Spotlight and just all the moving parts of Spotlight, all the different things they had to kind of orchestrate in that movie and the dark subject matter. I don't know. I think it's a horse race between those two.
I will say, out of all the 2015 films, I think Spotlight's kind of the most interesting one I didn't see, probably. Because, I mean, Spotlight, again, it has Michael Keaton in the lead, right? It has Keaton and Ruffalo.
Well, I mean, it's definitely ensemble, but yeah, Michael Keaton is definitely one of the characters that has the most screen time.
I mean, Keaton has a strong role in the movie, though, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it was a good cast, and again, I love the premise that was laid out there. Sounds very interesting. I kind of wish I saw it, but
I kind of laid out the opening scene for you on our podcast, kind of intrigued you.
Yes, and of course, the thing with a lot of the Oscar movies, especially, usually most times it's limited release, other times they kind of come out at a hard time of year to see movies at. Yeah, but either there's a lot of stuff out, or it's just kind of the quiet season where things slip under the radar. Because I barely knew anything about Spotlight till I heard all the buzz about it, like the Oscar buzz, this one's rumored to be the Oscar winner. Where is it? I didn't see the advertising.
Same for me, man. I did not know about this movie at all until maybe late November at the earliest. It came out of nowhere.
Just something that I'll mention now is this is going to come up with a few of the films that we're going to be discussing here, at least going through. Again, the limited release kills a lot of these movies, I think, for the general public.
Yeah, Ex Machina was definitely an example of that. I watched Ex Machina when it came to streaming. Okay, so do you want to move on to the next category then?
Sure.
Okay, and this is where our first snub comes into play. So we have Best Adapted Screenplay. We have The Big Short, Brooklyn, Carol, The Martian, and Room. Now, Blue Dragon 5, Steve Jobs, that screenplay. People are really, really kind of up in arms at that screenplay, written by none other than Aaron Sorkin, a big, big guy who did, let's see, what Sorkin? He's done a lot of stuff. He did West Wing, all kinds of stuff. Newsroom, Social Network. People are really kind of up in arms that Steve Jobs didn't get nominated here.
Again, that I'll say, I guess out of those 2015 films, the two that sound most interesting, it was Steve Jobs and it was the Spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I always hear a lot of great buzz, especially from you. I never get the end of it from you, but I sound very interesting of this. What I'm hearing about this Steve Jobs movie. Again,
I always rave about the structure of Steve Jobs.
I know you love,
and I think the screenplay has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, again, I think Adventure Blue Dude kind of pokes some holes in why I'll never see this, but I still would love to see just a movie a Steve Jobs movie that has the scene where he's really yelling at Jeffrey Katzenberg. That's the one I want to see. I want to see the ants debacle on screen.
Oh God!
I want to see that bad. Like, think of it: the betrayal of John Lasseter, and the betrayal of Katzenberg to John Lasseter. The only time he's ever raised his voice on record. I mean, that's the one I want to see. I want to see Steve Jobs just yelling at Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Okay, but I know you probably haven't seen any of these movies, but any overall thoughts about these here?
Oh yeah, well, of these ones, I mean, The Room also sounded like an interesting one. So I mean, that one I guess would be the one that I would maybe predict.
Room's the one that I'm kind of pulling behind. I think out of these 5, I think it's between Room and The Martian.
Yeah. Now with that, let me address this. So I think Room sounds like it's the one that probably deserves to win it.
Right.
Because it also sounded like another interesting movie laid out for me. It sounded real simple, sounded really thought provoking, and it sounded interesting. But I'll tell you one thing.
Another one that gets under my skin. Like the more I think about that movie, the more it affects me.
Now with The Martian, however, I heard from Adventure Blue when we did our discussion. Apparently, The Martian wasn't as straight an adaptation, which would kind of lower it in the running of this category.
I guess. I mean, to me, I don't really care if it's not a straight adaptation, as long as it's a good movie that's pulled from a good source material.
But I got to tell you, with that, though, I kind of want Drew Goddard to win because he was one of the minds on Daredevil.
That's true.
I kind of want him. I just kind of want The Martian to win, but I hear from the fans of the book they weren't too thrilled with it. So I'm saying, in terms of adaptation, again, you always have to make liberty, so I can't really judge it. So I'm really, it's between. You're right. It is between Room and Martian. My outside judgment on that one.
Okay.
But I think Room probably deserves a Martian. I think we'll get it, though.
I'm probably right there with you. I am pulling for Room.
Again, it's just like an outside perspective.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to, I believe this is Best Visual Effects. Okay, here we go. Here's a couple movies you saw, or at least one. So we have Ex Machina, Fury Road, The Martian, Force Awakens, The Revenant. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it a snub per se, but they left out Age of Ultron.
Yes, I also have another snub. I think Ant-Man probably should have been, at least, again, I know it's not going to win, but it should have definitely got consideration because the shrinking effects were very sublime.
Yeah, Ant-Man was good. Yeah.
Ant-Man had very good effects. That's why I think it should deserve like the acknowledgement.
I think The Revenant, just putting it up for visual effects is a bit of an overkill because I think a lot of The Revenant is more so just the production side of things, the cinematography, the makeup.
I'm just saying trailer-wise and what I hear, I'm just knowing the director's kind of visual stuff.
I mean, there's a CGI bear attack, and the CGI bear is fucking convincing, and it's a terrifying scene. But
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it strikes me more as direction and kind of camera work more than visual effects. Just judging from, we see the CGI bear attack in the movie. I mean, in the trailer for the movie. But again, I think you're right. Age of Ultron and Ant-Man probably should have gotten considered. But you got to remember, let's address kind of a big kind of running snobbery of the running snub of the Oscars. They really look down upon the superhero films.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Heath Ledger with The Dark Knight, that was like the one exception.
Basically, unless it's their year to shine, they and they almost like they contractually have to acknowledge the superhero films if it's their year of shine, such as Heath Ledger with The Dark Knight or the Avengers the first year, the first one.
Sure.
Because that one's like bringing them all together on screen for the first time. That's kind of a big deal, so we have to acknowledge it on some level. Of course, we bring out all the Avenger stars to kind of announce many of the categories.
There was like some very, very, very loose buzz about Guardians of the Galaxy possibly being nominated for Best Picture last year. I know that was like a very, very outside shot, but just based on how big of a surprise that movie was and how much people loved it, it was kind of an outside possibility.
That would have been great.
I know.
But, you see what I mean. That's kind of the running. Again, the Oscars, unfortunately, they can't always see past the end of their nose, to quote Mary Poppins, They just
we'll get into that specifically with some of these categories, including the major one, Best Picture. I mean, there's some things on Best Picture I simply think shouldn't be on there.
It's usually the Oscars. It's kind of it used to be just it's against Christopher Nolan and superhero films in general. That was usually the Oscar running bias. They just really don't like Christopher Nolan or
Leo DiCaprio, except maybe this year will be Leo's year.
Well, no, they like to torture Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
They do. Well, they do. It's like, yeah, we're going to invite him. We're going to give him a nice seat at the table. We're going to give him like a free meal. He's going to have the camera on. It's going to have like a little subtitle saying, "Guy who thinks he's going to win it."
Okay. Oh dear God, can we just tackle the sound mixing and sound editing all together?
Okay, well, I'm sorry. For visual effects, just want to make sure, yes, we said our... Well, I didn't say who I thought was going to win visual effects.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I don't think we actually talked about visual effects. I think we talked about the snubs.
My bad. Okay.
So visual effects, I think Force Awakens definitely should get it, but Mad Max will be another contender for that.
Mad Max is a contender, but I agree with you. If you're going to give anything to Force Awakens, I mean, the visual effects, the practicality of that film, that's the one thing I definitely...
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if the Star Wars Force Awakens can win one Academy Award, it has to win for visual effects, I think.
I agree.
Because, I mean, again, what's exactly what you just said, is the mix. It's like the seamless mix of CGI and practical effects. It's bringing it back to the classic Star Wars we know, and also kind of bringing it into the modern era once again. That's an achievement that should be definitely congratulated for Force Awakens. I think we all know it wasn't going to get the Best Picture nomination, but definitely deserves a lot of awards, though, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Mad Max, of course, with all those effects, and of course the practical side of that one too. That's also an achievement. So those two are definitely in running for achievements in visual effects.
So honestly, I can never really tell the difference.
Oh yeah, so I looked into this, by the way, because of your confusion.
Okay.
So go back to it. Go down. Go to mixing. You can do it. Okay. So basically, the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, to my knowledge, and what I just kind of looked up to hopefully confirm, is that editing is like the Ben Burtt kind of design aspect of it. So that's like the offsite recording the sound.
Okay.
Kind of, basically all the sounds that are not recorded on the set, like they're not the sounds that are in the area of filming.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Ben Burtt going out there to the high tension wires, getting like the blaster sounds. That's sound design, which works in its way to sound editing, creating the sound effect. That's editing. Now, sound mixing, to my knowledge, and bear in mind, I guess they with the grain. So I just looked it up recently to make sure I kind of knew what the difference was, and I think this is on the money. Sound mixing is all the sounds just kind of mixed into the film. It's like taking all the sound, including the on-set sounds and the edited sounds, so mixing them all into the movie.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Basically, editing is creation, mixing is working into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So mixing in this case,
which is kind of confusing because like mixing kind of sounds more like it has to do with the editing.
I really just wish they kind of label as. I think editing is pretty much design from what I could find. I don't know why they don't call it sound design if that's
sound design, right?
Okay. They edit it down to the sound effect, I guess. So it's really editing in some way. Regardless of, so I think for sound mixing, it definitely goes to Star Wars Force Awakens because again, it's working into the movie very well.
I'm going to make an argument for Fury Road here. Fury Road has Guitar Player Guy, and Guitar Player Guy works his way throughout the whole movie, and he's like always a presence, and you're always hearing that guitar in the background. Not to mention just the symphonic, like all the different cars, all the different engines. Yeah, I think Fury Road. If it were up to me, I mean, I see your point with Star Wars. I definitely think.
Well,
Star
look, I'll admit to you, for sound editing and sound mixing, I know I delineated the differences there, but I think for both of them, I just kind of said Star Wars because I think they definitely kind of. I think they've earned it this year. Me personally, I think more so for the editing. I'll admit, which you might as well get to the.
I will give Star Wars sound editing.
Editing definitely stars because again, it's bringing back the nostalgia points most definitely, but also the big thing with the editing, just kind of creation of the sound effects. The biggest one to highlight from Force Awakens is definitely Kylo Ren's lightsabers. It has this really booming, terrifying sound whenever it's activated.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Which that and of course BB-8 is kind of bringing back the old stuff from Star Wars and again ushering into the new generation with with those new touches that were just kind of the old sounds we're familiar with, but seeing it from a new angle and for a new era.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I guess I wrote off the sound mix, saying, oh, it's might as well give the Star Wars too. So I want to really not have too big an opinion on, but definitely editing goes to Star Wars.
Okay. Let's see. Now here, I don't think we're gonna have any sort of opinion on, right?
Unfortunately, I got nothing.
I got nothing. I'm sorry, folks. I know of none of these things. Okay, I think we can maybe get into some things.
Yes.
Okay, so best short film animated, we have Bear Story, Prologue, World of Tomorrow, Sanjay's Super Team, and We Can't Live Without Cosmos.
Now, I must say, I do love the scene in Bear Story where it's "You are a bear, you can't fly." I do like that scene. No, I'm kidding. I have not seen any of these movies but one.
What do you think of Sanjay's Super Team getting in over Lava? I think that's the discussion to have here.
Well, I remember you bringing this up, and I gotta tell you, Lava has been kind of not ripped apart, but it's not the most. It hasn't been received as well as I thought it would, because I thought it was a really nice short.
It was the best short.
I thought it was a good short. I'm just saying people are really just kind of saying it's. Some people say it's the worst of the Pixar shorts.
No.
Yes. So I'm with you there. It's obviously it's an overreaction. Oh, it's not that bad. Come on.
It's not Boundin'.
Okay, but take that back. Bounding is not bad.
I don't like Boundin'.
Anyway. But I got to tell you, I didn't see it in the cards for Lava because it's weird. I heard this. I'm not saying this is the reason it's not nominated or was snubbed. I'm just saying it's something I noticed too, which is yet another thing piling on the list of reasons people don't like Lava. They say it's insensitive to Hawaiian people. They say it's
no.
I know. I think they're reaching for that one, but it's. I'm not saying.
Well, I don't want to talk about people not liking Lava.
The point is, Lava was good, and I think Lava has more and more heart in it. And I shouldn't say that. I think Lava has it kind of wraps. It's kind of hard to describe. You get Lava visually, I think, is more dazzling than Sanjay's.
Lava's visually more dazzling. Lava has a lot of heart. Lava has a really good original song that I think stands on its own as a really good song.
Yeah, so Lava is good in many respects, and I think I'll tell you this. I think the main reason Sanjay's Super Team is getting is because it's very different.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Lava is just kind of. I'm not saying against. I'm not defending the Oscars logic on this one. The Oscars again, the very very a lot of snobbery with the Oscars. Bear in mind. But
that's kind of the thing we're wading through.
Yeah, but with Sanjay's Super Team, the main reason they're put on there is because it was different, because it was taken from a different perspective. You'd rarely see it's not. I'm not saying controversial, but it was newsworthy, different, I guess.
I respect Sanjay's Super Team. That's
the reason I'm not mad that it's on there, because I did enjoy it. I think I would love the fact it was just based on this true story of this kid relating to his father with superheroes. I love that.
I like the true story element of that short. I just thought the overall execution of it wasn't bad. It just wasn't really entirely engaging to me. It just wasn't my thing. I don't know.
I think it was fun. I thought it was cool. A lot of neat things about it. But I think probably if I were to weigh between which better, I'll go with Lava, saying it's better. But I think Sanjay's Super Team was definitely fun, and it's worth being in the short film category. But Lava probably should have been there too.
Okay.
But I kind of knew it wasn't in the cards, because I think that's what they're going to. They're going more towards the bolder one than the regular one.
And I don't think we really know enough about the others to make a prediction here one way or another.
Unfortunately, no. But
Yeah,
I guess moving on.
Okay. Production design. Okay. Bridge of Spies, Danish Girl, Mad Max, Revenant, Martian. In my opinion, Mad Max has to take this.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
That's the best thing about Mad Max is the world building. Like, Mad Max is one of the best pieces of world building I've ever seen put on screen.
You think Star Wars was snubbed on that one?
Yes, I do. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, if Star Wars was on the dock for that one, I'd probably go.
You know
for
what?
I
think a couple of these technical awards, The Revenant just kind of slid in there just because it's getting a lot of hype and because they wanted to create this big groundswell for Innuendo.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't it just like take place in the woods and the wilderness?
Yeah, it's the woods. It's the natural forest.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, did they shoot on location?
Yes. That's my thing with The Revenant getting nominated. It's like, it's the woods. There was no production. I mean, I'm sure it was a tiring production. I respect the hell out of that movie from a filmmaking perspective. But the fact of the matter is, production design is essentially set building. It's essentially creating the world. And
you know what I'll bet you happened? I'll bet you DiCaprio somehow hacked the Oscars and he was inserting himself into every category. And
God.
All these names are probably, I'm joking, bear in mind, folks. I'm saying, what if all the names on the production were his surname? So Jack Fisk here is actually DiCaprio. It's just in an attempt to win an Oscar.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I think out of any category, even including visual effects, because I think visual effects, Fury Road does give Star Wars competition as well.
You know, if I were to, I'll say this much. I think, I'll say this much. Again, I haven't seen a lot of the Fury Road, but I've seen a little bit more of it since we've talked. I think more. I'll give them production design over visual effects because again, they're more so practicality, which kind of fits in more with production design, like what's there. But also,
Star Wars did do a lot of practical things, though. We have to keep that in mind. I mean, that Star Destroyer is.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
From all I know,
I'm not gonna lie to you. If Star Wars was on the docket for this one, I'd be backing Star Wars 100%.
For sure.
But I'm saying, what we have there, I'll say Mad Max probably should win it for this one, definitely.
Okay.
And I think it's going to win this one for this category.
What?
I think it's going to win this category.
Yeah. I also think The Martian has strong production design. So
it does.
All right. Oh God. So BlueDragonFive, what do you think of 50 Shades of Grey?
So let me tell you something. To prepare for this, I listened to all these songs. I can tell you, I don't think there's a winner among them.
Really?
Personally, I couldn't get it. I was hoping the James Bond one would thrill me, but it didn't. I tried them all. I mean, I don't know. It's my perspective. I don't know. I'll tell you what song was snubbed. You're gonna think I'm crazy. Everyone's gonna think I'm crazy. I'm just gonna say I think this is actually a good song. It could actually be. This is from, again, compared to our nominations, not the best of movies. I'll give you, but I think it had a great song in it.
What?
Mean Old Moon from Ted 2.
Oh God!
Seriously, out of all, tell me that song's not as good as any of the ones here.
No,
I'm saying Mean Old Moon was actually a good song. I mean, compared to all of these, in my opinion, I mean, don't know. I guess out of all of these, the one that probably should win, that probably won't. Simple Song number 3. I mean, it was some opera music. And it was okay, but it just didn't.
Okay.
I mean, I can appreciate some good opera, but
so how was Earned It? Tell me, how was Earned It?
It was like they're updating kind of the sensual saxophone music essentially. Without a saxophone, bear in mind, I'm just saying they're kind of going for that sort of vibe. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like they're just going for, hey, we're seductive. Again, I was really disappointed. I was really hoping Spectre was going to be, because I love the Adele song from Skyfall.
You know what? If I could nominate it, I would say the song from Lava was the best song of the year.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that for shorts.
I don't think you are. But
I tell you again, as crazy as it sounds, I'm saying "Mean Old Moon" from Ted 2. I thought it was a lovely song. It's probably the best part of that film, and I think it was
probably
excellent song. Again, Nora Jones singing, and Amanda Seyfried. She was also good singing, but Nora Jones 100% in that one for me personally. That was an excellent song, and that one should definitely have been nominated. Again, if that's assuming the Oscars would be unbiased and like open-minded for that one. If they were like, let's look at movies for the qualities, whether they were the highest grossers or anything. Let's just put movies in there that think of quality or moments of quality within a movie.
I'm wondering if that one song from the Dance and the Peanuts movie was an original song written for the Peanuts movie.
Can't recall.
Because I like that song.
I can't recall off the top of my head what it was.
Okay, anyways. So, if I were to make a prediction, I would say Spectre.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'm assuming basically the Oscars. They have good memories from Skyfall. So, okay, let's just give it to the next year.
right.
And yeah, I'll bet you that one's gonna win. And then again, probably one probably should win. Again, it's kind of a dog race, so to speak. Simple Song number 3 probably should win, but Writing on the Wall is gonna win.
Honest to God, I want 50 Shades of Grey to win.
I heard that. I'm a little puzzled by that. So why?
No, I want 50 Shades of Grey to win.
And
so
you just
badly.
want it for bragging rights, right? Saying, "Hey, 50 Shades of Grey won an Oscar." Oh.
Well, no, not for bragging rights. Just to kind of show how much of a joke the Oscars are. I don't know.
Yeah, again, why can't we have a good song in the Oscars?
Okay. Anyways, let's see. Original score. Okay.
Okay, let me address a snub right now. A big old snub. Michael Giacchino. Let me say it.
I'm sorry.
Michael Giacchino for Inside Out. Hello?
Huge snub.
Yeah, big old snub.
That is one of my favorite movie scores of all time.
Honestly. Again, it sells you right from the 5 seconds in when you hear the dun, 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 dun. Well, the minute you hear that, it wins. It just wins. I don't know what it wins, but it should win an Oscar. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm very peeved about that because
that one is a huge.
That score is really special to me. I could just listen to the soundtrack on its own. It holds its own as like just a piece of conceptual music without even being associated with the movie.
Like screw Carol. I have no attachments whatsoever to Carol. Get out of there, put Inside Out there. Seriously, how could they not have nominated Giacchino for Inside Out?
I know. I think rightfully, I do think Hateful Eight is going to take this.
Didn't he win the Golden Globe?
Yes, he did.
Personally, I would. 1 second there. Let me make sure. Yeah, I ranked him in terms of probability here. A Bridge of Spies. I love Thomas Newman, so I love his music. So I haven't seen the movie. I'm assuming his score was good. So he's like the lower tier of like the winners would be. Then moving up from that, I'd say Hateful Eight would get at the top of the list. It's probably gonna get. Well, I kind of hope it's gonna get it. Star Wars, just John Williams. I think he should get one.
It'd be nice to see Williams win, but I still hold on. I don't think that Force Awakens had the most memorable Star Wars.
Well, I was listening to the Force Awakens soundtrack earlier. Not for this. I'm just saying earlier, because I wanted to hear music again after I saw it for a second time. I can tell you, they came with some really neat new scores that as I said with many of the other categories here for Star Wars. It's just the reinventing and reconstructing, so to speak, the wheel of Star Wars. Like they're rebuilding the Millennium Falcon in many regards, and bigger and better. In that, it's the same. We have our same musical scores, of course, without the huge kind of Empire-ish ones, which I'm hoping we're gonna get a little more of next time around.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get like the Empire-based stuff in Episode 8.
Yeah, but I mean, just what we do have, of course, is harkening back to the old stuff, which again is instant nostalgia points. But the biggie would be even our new scores. Like Ray's theme is amazing. If you ever listen to Ray's theme, it's like it's so new, it's so Williams-esque. It doesn't just feel like Luke. It feels like her own thing, but it fits so well in all the classic themes, And of course, like the ending thing, I won't say just in case folks haven't seen it, but of course the score that ends the movie is really great too. Like the last.
Sure.
Basically, the last bit and also kind of the big battle of the third act has some great music too. I'm saying I think there's good music throughout. I think Williams more so. I'll tell you why. It's not just the movie itself, but I love the trailer music for The Force Awakens. How it just kind of. I want to say he rescored the original Star Wars music, but still, the same music. But it feels like a little bigger and just kind of like it's been dusted off, so to speak, for the trailers. Because again, is hearing that again, as I mentioned, is the thing that hyped me up for the movie so much was just hearing those 22 seconds of score from Yoda lifting up the X-wing from Dagobah. that's worked into the second trailer. I can
Yeah.
listen to that all day, and I
Yeah.
think on a marketing level, that made so much money for that movie. I think it's worth an Oscar. I think it's just all the marketing stuff that helps spark up. You know, it's like that
Right.
helped to sell people on the music of that film. Just getting the music had a huge role in Star Wars, and I think he deserves an Oscar for that.
Hateful Eight. I just think Hateful Eight. That score just absolutely drives that movie. That score is like the backbone and the fucking rhythm of that movie.
Well, of course, now the person that did the score for that. He has done score for Tarantino many times before, and he's done an excellent job.
And he's a pretty legendary composer in Hollywood. He's been around for decades.
I'm saying the runnings between these three guys. It's between Williams, Ennio, and Thomas Newman.
I would actually take Newman out of it. I think it's a 2-horse race between Williams and.
I'm saying just like in terms of people who've probably earned it. I'm saying between who earned it in the running. You're absolutely right. It's between Hateful Eight and Star Wars. But I'll tell you, I think Star Wars is going to win it because they're trying to make up for the fact they're probably nominated for other stuff.
Fair enough. Okay.
Again, I think Williams did a good job in terms of just kind of dusting off Star Wars with the music.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, makeup and hairstyling. We have.
Yeah, I think we can agree that the Mad Max wins this one.
Yeah, Mad Max needs to.
I guess
Star
I'll tell
Wars
you.
snubbed though. I think Star Wars was definitely snubbed here though.
Oh, absolutely.
And what do you think about just the 100-year-old man who climbed out of? Hold on, I don't even. This title's so long. I don't even.
I think it says the window.
Who climbed out of the window and disappeared.
Yeah,
just very, very quirky. Very quirky.
Yeah.
I mean, Norbit was nominated for best makeup back in the day. Okay.
Oh, I forgot something with the shorts because we got so heated in the lava stuff. Can I mention real quick an animated short that probably should have been nominated?
Yeah.
Frozen Fever should have got a nomination.
No. I very much disagree with that.
I think Frozen.
I disagree with that entirely. Oh no. Frozen Fever was literally made to sell a new dress to little girls. That was Frozen Fever's entire purpose.
It was good though.
I know. I did not like Frozen Fever nearly as much as you did, my friend. I'm sorry.
I'll remind you, we saw Cinderella just to see that short. I'll remind you.
Yes, and I actually, in Cinderella, I ended up actually pretty much liking. So, okay.
One is I liked Frozen Fever. I think it should have been considered for a nomination.
But yeah, absolutely, Fury Road is gonna, I would hope, take makeup.
And just in case you're curious, I have I've seen a portion of Fury Road.
Have you?
I have. I have.
Okay. Okay, foreign language film. We know nothing about any of this, right?
I assume a war will win it. That's usually how the Oscars go.
I think I've heard the title "Son of Saul" before in the past.
I want the movie to win just because of the title, because Son of Saul reminds me of Better Call Saul. That's the only reason.
And I'm actually being serious. I've heard people kind of talk about Son of Saul, so I'd say that might win just because I've actually heard about it. So
then again, the Oscars history, if it's about a war, then it's going to win.
Well, yeah, so a war.
I was saying, look at the Hurt Locker.
Okay. Film editing. Big Short, Fury Road, Revenant, Star Wars, or Spotlight.
Well, personally, I think Inside Out was snubbed on this one.
Yeah. If
Inside Out had excellent editing.
I also think The Revenant, this is, again, another one. I'm kind of turning against The Revenant a little bit because I think The Revenant is a very, very, very good movie. It's very well made. I think it's a technical achievement for sure. It's kind of a landmark technical achievement, but the editing on that movie wasn't really the best. I mean, I think it dragged on a bit too long for its own good, and there was a big, I think the first hour of that movie was incredibly engaging and just got me hooked into it right away. But I think the second hour, all the way up until like the third act climax, just really drags for me. So out of these, I would say it's a horse race between Force Awakens and Spotlight.
Yeah, but I guess I hope Star Wars Force Awakens wins.
Of course. I think Spotlight has the more subtle editing. But I think the brilliant thing about Spotlight is, like I said, in its subtlety, is just the fact that like it pulls you into this world of like darkness and despair before you even realize what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it starts out very light, and then like it just pulls you in, and it keeps sucking you in. So I don't know. I would say Spotlight. Like Star Wars definitely flew by for sure.
Well, let me say this for Star Wars, because again, the one I can speak about really. With Star Wars, though, I think they did a great job again of recreating the old vibe there. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's what this movie did. It recreated the old vibe perfectly. And what I mean particularly is looking just in terms of editing. Look at the action sequences. It plays exactly like like Luke and Han in the fighting off the TIE fighters in like the Millennium Falcon scenes. I'm saying the way that plays, I think it's still like it's really really good editing, especially with the action sequences. Also with the emotional beats, so you kind of cut to just the right people. I think it's solid editing. I'll say that much. And just because I have experience with it, I'll say I hope it wins. But yeah, again, Spotlight sounds like it's impressive. I think that one, from what you're telling me, has a chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
But again, big last thing to say on it, Inside Out, big snub, because I say that one would have won because Kevin Nolting, one of the best editors I've seen on a movie. Again, he did Up and he did this. Just the fantastic editor. He probably should have gotten the honor for Inside Out.
Yeah, I would definitely take out The Big Short. Yeah. The Big Short is one of those where I feel like just because of the cast, it got nominations, but it really isn't that good of a movie from what I've heard.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Kevin Nolting, though, again, one of the best editors in the business.
Okay. Okay, documentary short, we know nothing about any of this, right?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I tell you, Body Bag Team. I'm sorry, Body. I thought I said Body Bag Team. That would have been such an awesome title. Moving on. I'm sorry. Moving on.
Okay, really, really quick with this. I've heard really good things about Cartel Land recently.
I looked. I didn't know who Amy was about. Then I looked. It was about Amy Winehouse. Then I stopped caring.
Oh, be nice. Oh, come on.
I gotta tell you, I was again. So you hear?
Be nice.
Is that Amy
Winehouse? Died too young. She was a tragic figure.
Just because she dies young doesn't make it a tragic figure, okay?
All right.
You have to earn that before.
This is a can of worms. Let's not open this can.
I don't mean to sound heartless. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Some people literally view her as like this generation's Marilyn Monroe. I'm not saying that's accurate at all, but
yeah, that is a bad comparison. I mean, they're far more honest and more heartbreaking comparisons I can make to Amy Winehouse, but I'm not going to. But let me ask this: so Cartel Land, you hear is good?
I heard that is a very engaging documentary for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of wish there was a little more. I'm just saying, like looking at the broad kind of. Yeah, just looking at the.
It'd be awesome if Schnepp, like somehow, some way, found his way into this fold.
Well, honestly, that one I really wish would win. Again, if Big Bird was, again, I think it would kind of count as last year, so it's probably.
I think Big Bird did count as last year, unfortunately, or else I would consider that kind of a snub.
That's the thing, because that definitely should have won if it was up for the. I assume it didn't win last year, so it probably should have still gotten it. So, but for this year, though, I mean, as much as I like the Bat Kid, I don't think it's Oscar worthy. But Death of Superman was a really good one.
Yeah, but I don't think that had any chance. That barely got a theatrical release at all.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really compelled by some of these documentary, not plot. I don't know why I'm having some trouble. Subject matter. Thank you. That's where I was looking for. I don't know. I just wish I wasn't really interested in the summaries of the subject matters, I guess. But so you hear Cartel Land's good. I'll go with you on that one. I don't really have any opinions on them except
I think out of these five, I think it's probably between Cartel Land and Amy.
Yeah, bear in mind, I really have only trailers to go on for these, really, and just watch the trailers for some of these, and it's like Lucas Silence again. Sounds like a really awesome title, but the trailer didn't really suck me in at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, no, nothing against the movie. I just haven't seen it. It's not enough to go on for me, I guess.
Okay, directing, we
It's a
have
biggie.
Adam McKay for The Big Short, Fury Road, George Miller, Alejandro Iñárritu for The Revenant, Tom McCarthy for Spotlight, and oh god, I can't pronounce this guy's last name. Lenny Abramson, I
Yeah,
guess.
Abramson.
Okay, for Room. Oh god. So first of all, do you think any sort of a snub on Pete Docter's end?
Absolutely. So yeah, that's the other thing with again, they have a real bias towards animation with the Oscars too.
They do. They do for sure.
Pete Docter definitely was.
I don't think any animation director has ever been nominated for Best Director. I have to look that up.
I tell you that's a crime. But then again, you also have to bear in mind. I'm not giving them points on this. I'm just saying it's something to actually consider. You know, co-directors also have a big role with that too. So, in animation, there are a lot of co-directors with important roles with that. So I'm not sure how if that affects their decision making at all. If they just want to be a singular director on these,
right?
Because I mean,
Other than that, people
wasn't invaluable. I hope I'm using that word correctly. Invaluable. That means you can't go without him, right? The point is, Ryan Del Carmen was also a big factor of the reason that movie worked too. Let's not forget Del Carmen.
Sure. Other than that, the big snub that people are talking about is Ridley Scott for The Martian.
Well, you know, is The Martian nominated for Best Picture?
No, I don't think The Martian's nominated for Best Picture. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's nominated. I have it right in front of me, so you know.
Is it? Okay.
Well, if it's nominated for Best Picture, then the director, in theory, the directors should be up there for if their movies are for Best Picture. It's logically how it should be, but you know they have to limit it to 5.
Right.
I guess they have to limit. They don't really have to limit it to 5, but they limit it to 5 for the category. So I would say, believe me, as much as I do love Adam McKay, and again, he did help out in Ant-Man, folks. So
he did. He did
help out in Ant-Man. From what I'm hearing for The Big Short, I'm hearing it wasn't the best in the movies. Am I right on that?
Monkey very much disliked it.
It seems very interesting, though, just like the trailers and the selling points of it. It has a good cast, seemingly, and again, good director behind it. So just going by the
cast. I mean, look at that: Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt. I mean, my God.
I'm saying going by the names and the talent, it seems like in the premise, it seems like a good.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like this year's American Hustle.
Kind of. Yeah.
American Hustle was another movie that absolutely drove me insane with the amount of Oscar attention it got because I thought it was just such a fucking mediocre movie. But anyways.
Anyway, it sounded like Big Short probably wasn't the best movies tonight. You probably could have slipped in Ridley Scott for The Martian there. As much as, again, I do love Adam McKay, but, you know. Point is, with the exception, again, I won't take points away from McKay for the – I haven't seen the movie. I can't make that judgment. But I think barring the what's up in the air with that guy, with everyone else here, I think it's very strong nominations, though. And again, Pete Docter should be on there, but, you know, he's snubbed. What can you do? But I got to tell you, though, I think it's a race between George Miller and Alejandro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
because Miller, like I would say, George Miller's going to get it because, again, all the buzz, 7-year-old director directing this, you know, in the eyes of many, a masterpiece of a film.
But Iñárritu, man, I mean, I think that I legitimately think that the behind the scenes making of for The Revenant is going to become like Hollywood legend.
So really, Tiki, can you enlighten me at all? Like what the big thing was that for the behind the scenes wasn't?
Well, I mean, the big thing is that they all had to spend fucking 8 months out in the wilderness in cold and like living in tents and shit.
Really?
Yeah. Like the big thing, it was all entirely naturalistic, entirely natural lighting. I mean, I would say other things. I don't want to spoil any parts of the film, but
Alejandro doesn't play games when he's directing them.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, I mean that's where it's at, folks. It's really between those two because they're both really big achievements this year. Because again, for Alejandro, will be him winning for a second time in a row if that is the case.
And that would be the first time it's happened since Frank Capra.
Really?
Back in the 1940s.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
But basically, you have that, and again, it sounds like he went through heck and back to direct the movie. And again, people always love a good behind the scenes story for a movie.
Sure.
Again, with that said, George Miller, of course, kind of like the big kind of a return to screen.
George Miller directed the shit out of Fury Road.
Yeah. I think it's like if they're going for achievement, it's going to Miller, but if they're going for, I guess, quality from the sounds of it, it's going to Revenant. For Alejandro.
But I also think Tom McCarthy might have a chance to dark horse his way in and sneak in and get it.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Again, yeah, I'm hearing good things from Spotlight. I'm getting a sense Spotlight's going to be, in terms of awards, not snubbed at the nomination, but snubbed with the win, because again, it's kind of overshadowed with the Revenant in every category. And
yeah, it's surprising to me because I really did think that Spotlight would be the bigger movie over the Revenant, but the Revenant has just suddenly gotten this huge, massive groundswell behind it, and I think it's going to be unstoppable. I honestly think the Revenant honestly has a chance to pull a fucking Return of the King and win everything it's nominated for, just because that's how much hype it has behind it right now.
Mm.
So.
But again, so it's really between those two. I can't really. I guess let me see what I guess I put George Miller at the top of Wing, because again, there's so much buzz about. It's always like Kevin Smith's always been such a big deal of George Miller, the 70-year-old man. Literally for one of the Fat Man Pants, he just went on like 10-minute, not a rant, but like a celebration of George Miller. This 70-year-old man, the same age as my mother, directed this wonderful film. I'm saying he sold me on that one. Okay, I'll take it. George Miller did a great job directing this movie. Okay.
Yeah, but then again, it's hard to argue with just how much blood, sweat, and tears went into the Revenant. So.
But I gotta tell you though, personal views, what I've seen of Mad Max Fury. Bear in mind, I'm gonna have to watch it in its entirety and probably watch it again. I'm not sure. I think Alejandro might deserve the director.
Okay.
Again, props to Miller, but I'm thinking Alejandro, some of the sounds of things, directed a better movie.
I mean, I'm talking Inuarto went through like a Francis Ford Coppola Heart of Darkness style situation with the Revenant.
That sounds awesome. Just would you lay that from right there? That sounds. I'm really kind of wanting to see a lot of these Oscar-nominated movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Costume design. Oh dear God.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one real quick. I just want to say Mad Max Fury. I don't know. I might. I'm going to fault that more on the editor than George Miller, so I think George Miller still is probably in the running for being, again, the director's thing.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Okay, costume design. We got Carol, Cinderella, Danish Girl, Revenant, and Fury Road.
I think we know how this is going to go. Danish Girl's going to win.
Just because it's a period piece costume drama, and period piece costume dramas always get this category no matter what.
Unfortunately, I think the one probably here's the order I put in. Okay, at the bottom of the rank going up. Okay, so Carol's at the bottom because I don't think anyone really cares about Carol. Because again, you hear nothing about these movies coming out, really.
I've heard things about Carol. Carol was on my radar. It just doesn't sound that interesting to me.
And then let's see, Revenant, I guess, because it's in every category.
In Revenant, it's just honestly like, ooh, they're wearing furs.
Yeah, I mean, again, so he's wearing
they're all wearing like brown furs. There's not a lot of variety in the costuming, honestly.
I get it. He's wearing a bear. You don't have to rub it on.
Right.
You know, I get it. Okay, let's see. Okay, then I would go with Cinderella because I think Cinderella had some good production design, but also the costume is pretty good.
If it were honestly up to me, I would say Cinderella deserves the win.
I'm saying I'm with you there. I think Cinderella at least was something different because I hate it when it just goes. Don't get me wrong. I like period stuff. Don't get me wrong. You know how much I praise Agent Carter's wardrobe.
Sure.
You know, I appreciate some good period wardrobe. I got to give it to films I like. Personally, like you never see the superhero movies are never in the costumes category. Oddly enough. I'm just saying Age of Ultron. I'm not saying I don't know if it's really a snub, but I mean because they're already established costumes.
Well, I wouldn't consider that a snub because I think with Age of Ultron, like some of those characters are just pure CGI. You have to remember.
Yeah, but I mean, like I think the Captain America suit looks really awesome as always.
No, they're not going to nominate Age of Ultron because the Captain America.
I'm just saying
awesome.
There are a lot of really impressive looking costumes in the Avengers movie, but the fact that it's been kind of established already is probably yet another reason the costumes, aside from the superhero biases, it would be a reason why it'd be looked over.
I'm pretty sure Guardians of the Galaxy got some technical stuff last year. I'm pretty sure that got best makeup last year.
Oh, it should. Definitely should.
Okay.
But again, I think Danish Girl is going to get it because it's a period thing. And Mad Max probably deserves it, though, because, again, seeing what I have seen of it, the costumes look really impressive. Like the one guy with, like, the hoses coming from his mask.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, I think the costuming was great in Mad Max Fury Road. But I mean, Cinderella's like personally for me, like what I have seen, it's like that's a nice. That's a nice fairy tale costuming realized, in the Kenneth Branagh classy style.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you there. For me personally, it'd be between Cinderella and Mad Max. Mad Max just impressively with some of these costumes, but Danish Girl's going to get it. We all know this.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's going to happen. Just watch it, folks. Just watch. Just watch it happen.
Okay, cinematography. We have Carol, The Hateful Eight, Fury Road, Sicario, or The Revenant.
Okay, so let's snub. Big snub, I think. I think Star Wars was snubbed for cinematography.
Yeah.
Because I gotta tell you again, I think another thing I would praise,
you
but
could
not
just take out Carol here again.
Again. Why is Carol even wasting our time? Carol, go home. I'm sorry, Carol. You go home. Why are you in cinematography, Carol? Get out. I'm kidding, Carol. We love you. We love you. We're not too thrilled with you, but we love you.
I mean, who knows? We could end up watching Carol and just our minds are just blown.
I'm sorry, Carol. We didn't mean it. That's probably how it's going to go, actually. But seriously, though, I mean, Star Wars had so many. Sorry, not just Star Wars. Star Wars Force Awakens. I'm thinking back 77 right now. That's what I'm thinking of, folks. I'm sorry. Force Awakens had some mind-blowingly awesome shots, and again, like from the beginning, without giving too much away, again, like just seeing like the lone stormtrooper with like the blood smeared on his helmet.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, there were some great compositions, and I think Abrams directed fantastic.
I mean, like even in the trailers and the marketing, some of those shots are just absolutely iconic. One of my favorite shots is just the composition of that one, that iconic shot of the Star Destroyer on Jakku with the X-Wing in the foreground.
Of course, like the beginning of the movie, again, without giving too much away, like there is a shadow moment that looks really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, without going to the same thing, I've been playing like a broken record, just to distinguish itself here. Force Awakens just gave us images that we never have seen in Star Wars that feel so well ingrained into the universe. It's again, like I never picture like the blood on the stormtrooper look, and again, the shots of like, it's like this one lonely stormtrooper standing among others, like laying destruction and everything upon them. Of course, we get the great sets and visuals that it basically looks like an art book come to life, really, in many spots with the Kylo Ren battles.
Sure.
Again, like our third act, and it was no secret from the trailer. Again, in the snow planet there. Basically in our snowy environment with this giant kind of Knights of the Old Republic red lightsaber in the snow against our blue lightsaber. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I think there's so many. I would say practically every shot in Force Awakens is a memorable image.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're wrong, and I don't think you can say the same thing about Carol.
Yeah.
Or Sicario, which I've seen.
Yeah, would you say Sicario deserves to be in this category, Tiki?
Yes, but it's been a while, and Sicario just in general did not hit me that big. I kind of felt it was a little underwhelming, especially compared to the director's earlier works. But let me break it down. I mean, I think The Revenant's got this one. I mean, if The Revenant deserves to win anything, it's cinematography, considering everything that they went through.
It definitely deserves to win it. Mad Max also has some impressive shots. I'll give them that. They have some
Mad Max has impressive shots, but I
think Revenant's more thought-provoking. Just what I have seen in the trailers, it seems like more thought-provoking.
But shots. I mean, considering the fact that they use all naturalistic lighting, I mean, that in itself is like a fucking achievement.
I'll be surprised if Revenant doesn't win, but Mad Max would be kind of the one that would justify. Okay, you get a sense why it won, because again, there are some good visuals
I agree.
there. And Hateful Eight would probably be the third contender, but again, there's really between.
I doubt Hateful Eight's going to win.
Yeah,
a lot of Hateful Eight is just set on a cabin. There's not really a lot of like vista shots. When there are vista shots, it's great, but
kind of a snowy western. That's kind of a cool image.
Oh, it is.
But Revenant's pretty much got it cinched. The Mad Maxes will be also kind of like they might swoop in, get it if it's not looking,
Okay.
But again, big snub. Force Awakens would have been excellent for cinematography. I'm just saying.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Oh boy, here's a biggie, folks.
Yeah. Where is the Peanuts movie, Blue Dragon 5?
Yeah, I was
Where
wondering.
is it? Where it's not here. It's not here.
Now let me say this. Okay, so Boy and the World. Just looking at the trailer, bear in mind, I think Peanuts just should have like crumpled that poster up and threw it in the garbage. I'm sorry. I looked at the trailer for that thing. Looked very disappointing. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think you can make a case for when Marty was there because it's Studio Ghibli.
I mean, I'm saying a lot of these movies do look very very impressive, with the exception of Boy in the World. I will just rake that. It pretty much looks like it's stick figures. It's pretty much
stick figures.
Look at the poster. See, look under a film by right there. You can see a little stick figure like character there.
Yeah, I see it.
That's the character that's in the trailer. I'm just saying that it doesn't fit. I'm not saying that we just got to write off because again, look at the what's the film? The Illusionist, for example. That was one that was up for the animated picture years ago. Mm-hmm. That was a good movie. That was an understated movie.
I actually thought with last year they had The Tale of the Princess Caligula and Song of the Sea, and I thought both of those actually turned out to be really good, worthy movies. Maybe not as good as the Lego movie, but
yeah. But I'm just saying, Boy in the World, I really just have no bearing on what it is whatsoever. So I'm unnecessarily raking it over the coals, I guess. But the Peanuts really should have been in this one. And there was going to be one movie they were to replace. That's the only one I could really see it replacing.
Yeah, Anna Melissa, I've heard really, really good things about.
So, yeah, I just learned about again, it shows you, I hear nothing about this movie marketing-wise, because yet another one of those
Blue Dragon, or Adventure Blue Dude actually told me about that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I just heard about this movie just looking at it today. I looked at this poster. It looks very interesting. I look it up, and it's a movie all in stop motion. It looks beautiful. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And again, it's an R-rated, serious romantic comedy. It's not a comedy, it's a romantic film. Mm-hmm. And it's all stop motion. It looks beautiful in the trailer.
Okay, but I mean, come on now. Inside Out's gonna win.
Of course, come on. Like if I were to rank,
honestly the reason why I'm not that upset about the Peanuts movie.
That's the thing. We know Inside Out's gonna win. If I were to be a second one that would just have been seemingly deserving of it. Again, I haven't really seen any of these movies aside from Inside Out, so I can't really speak to them.
I've heard Shaun the Sheep is very good as well.
That's the thing. I
see that.
I hear good things, and I never would take any points away from Martin. I love those guys. Mm-hmm. But like Inside Out's gonna get it, but seemingly Animalacy, is that Annabelisa. That one, I mean, I've never seen anything like that before. A part of me just wants that to obviously not win it because I want Inside Out to win, but be one that definitely deserves the nomination there. Just kind of came out of nowhere. I really want to see this movie, see how it turns out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, Miyazaki on there is not a Miyazaki film. Studio
Ghibli is just kind of one of those things where it's like if there's a Ghibli film released in a year, it's going to get nominated.
The Ghibli film certainly they should always be on the docket. Those guys are brilliant.
Sure.
But again, Peanuts really should have been on because I think they deserved it. I'm not saying it wins. I'm just saying it definitely needs to be nominated on there because they really knocked it out of the ballpark in terms of paying homage, paying great tribute to Charles Schultz and the Peanuts and what the Peanuts represent. It was really
and kind of having an animation style that was kind of groundbreaking.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'll take that over Boy in the World. I mean,
stick figures though, Blue Dragon 5.
But no, but seriously, I mean, look at the Peanuts. What they did is it's the Lego movie of this year, really. It's the Lego movie snub. I mean, it's the Lego movie snub of this year. What Lego movie didn't get, where it definitely should have, and Peanuts definitely should have been up. Like, if I were to rank them, I guess Inside Out, then Peanuts, then then the others should be considered, really, because Peanuts was really up there in terms of like a quality animation. It was everything you hoped it was going to be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But again, Inside Out, obviously, fantastic. We've talked about it for many, many hours, and we could do it for any more hours. We're not going to. So, moving on. But again, it deserves everything. It's no surprise it's going to win. It got the Golden Globe already. Yay for Pete Docter, Ryan Duncan, all the people at Pixar. Yay! Moving on.
Okay, so actress in the supporting role, we have Jennifer Jason Leigh for Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara for Carol. Get out of here, Carol.
I feel so bad. We don't make it Carol. We're just... Carol is welcome here. Carol is welcome here. This one.
Okay, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs, and Alicia Vikander for The Wrong Movie.
For the
Because she should have been nominated for Ex Machina.
Okay, so I'm going to say, personally, because I love Rachel McAdams, I want her to win. I have no bearing on any of these movies, but again, Spotlight seems really... I would say it's between Rachel McAdams and Kate Winslet.
I think Rachel McAdams is very, very good in Spotlight. I think she's probably the least memorable role in the movie.
You help judge this one, too. You've seen both of these movies. So who do you think would, between these two, who do you think would earn it more?
Well, first of all, I don't think Rachel McAdams has much of a chance to actually win.
Really?
No. I would say it's maybe... I would say Rachel McAdams probably actually has the least chance to win out of these 5.
Really? Even more than Carol? Freaking Carol?
Carol, yes, just because Carol is definitely an acting movie, and I think both of the leads in that movie are strong contenders, just from what I've heard.
Okay, what about Kate Winslet? You think she has a shot at it?
Kate Winslet definitely has a strong shot at it.
I mean, just from the trailers, what I've seen of her, she seems really strong in those trailers.
She's great. She's absolutely one of the linchpins of the movie. She's like the second main character besides Steve Jobs himself.
I guess personally, I would just want Rachel McAdams because I like her, and unfortunately, I haven't seen any of these movies in these categories. But I think Kate Winslet probably is going to win in that case. If you're, I think
Kate Winslet has the best chance. My preference would probably be Jennifer Jason Leigh. I think she was easily the most memorable thing about Hateful Eight, and she kind of played this. She kind of, without giving anything away about the plot, she kind of toyed the line between being sympathetic and being absolutely despicable.
Yeah, she's kind of like the Mark or something, right? She's the bounty everyone's trying to take in.
Yeah.
So basically, she's kind of playing
spoilers about why she's despicable, but
I'll give you like a blind guess because I haven't seen it, folks. So I don't think it's going to be a spoiler coming from me. I'm just going to be assuming that she's like trying to play the odds so she can get out of this thing alive or get free.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, she's like trying to turn the Hateful Eight against each other. That's my guess.
Something like that.
Guess of what a movie called Hateful Eight would be. 8 guys that hate each other.
Hateful Eight are already against each other. That's why they call it the Hateful Eight.
Exactly. There's 8 guys that are in a room that hate each other. And there's a girl in there saying, hey, you should hate that guy a lot more.
You know what? I unfortunately think that a lot of the Hateful Eight, I think it's an unfortunate situation because I think it's an overflow from Tarantino's comments about the police and everything like that.
Yeah.
Police brutality. And I think there's just this negative stigma surrounding Tarantino right now, and I think it's translating over into Hateful Eight.
To be perfectly honest, I've completely forgotten about Tarantino's stuff there, but
I could care less. I could honestly care less. And honestly, just speaking bluntly, I agree with him about everything he's saying about police brutality.
I mean, I've just completely forgotten. I forgot how harsh he was on them or not. Again, it was rough. It was during tough times, and of course, people are going to say things like that. You get it.
Right. I think Alicia Vikander might have an outside shot to win this. I think they honestly might give it to her just because, she was really good in Ex Machina, but we can't nominate her for Ex Machina because it's sci-fi. Do
you know what the Danish Girl's about aside from a Danish Girl?
I believe that Eddie Redmayne is, in fact, the Danish Girl. So it's about a transsexual going through the transition, I believe.
That's exactly what I saw, because I saw him in you're going to see the image coming up, I guess, or whatnot. And that was the only guess I had at what the movie's plot was.
That's the only thing I really know about it.
I just want to have that confirmed. Okay, that's what you're basically trying to pull a Jared Leto.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, it seems like Kate Winslet's probably the one that, if not should win, then definitely should be in the running.
And I definitely think Kate Winslet deserves it. I just think Jennifer Jason Leigh, I would give the edge. It's hard to choose between those two.
It sounds like she's embodying what a supporting actress should be, Jennifer Jason. That's what it's sounding like she's doing. It sounds like Kate Winslet's kind of more of like a kind of an unofficial co-star.
Kate Winslet is definitely the unofficial co-star of Steve Jobs for sure.
It's like it's like basically like she's also the starring role, it sounds like, but it's.
I think she could have been nominated for best actress for how large her role is, but
okay.
Regardless, okay. All right, let's see. We have actor in a supporting role.
So I have an interesting snub because I guess I call it a snub because it's kind of unclear which category he'd be in. But I guess I should address it here because I guess technically he falls into the supporting role. Colin Firth, I think he should have gotten some sort of I'm not saying he should have won for supporting.
There's no way the Kingsman would have gotten any sort of Oscar recognition whatsoever.
Why is that, Tiki? Why do you think that is?
Because it's just not that kind of movie.
I gotta tell you though, I think Colin Firth was excellent in that film.
Oh, I believe you. I totally believe you.
I'm saying he was
definitely a movie I need to see.
I mean, he was absolutely the best part of that film. He was like the classy gentleman spy, you know. And he wasn't emulating Bond at all. He was just kind of like he was his own thing. And I think I'm saying again, he feels because it's a young guy in the lead role, so I guess technically he's supporting cast, even though I guess he's billed first because he's the big name. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's kind of unclear which category he'd be in. I'm saying it might be another aside from the bias of like I guess the big bias against Kingsman this year I'm unaware of, but I knew it's you know Kingsman's not getting the Oscar. It's mainly an action film, but also it's a comic book film technically.
Also, I've heard that there's a big shootout in a church or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's been getting a lot of controversy.
Oh come on.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just saying. Look, it's the same thing with the Hateful Eight and Tarantino's comments on the police. It's like. Right. It's just political shit that bleeds its way through.
But I mean, it might also be that technically Kingsman's based on a comic book. It's loosely based on a comic book. But to be honest with you, just from the broad shit, I haven't read the comic at all. I really learned about the comic after the fact. I mean, it seems really different in many aspects from the comic. So
that usually happens with Mark Millar work.
That
seems to be a running trend with Mark Millar.
But again, I can vouch for the movie was excellent there. And I think Colin Firth deserved a nomination of some kind for the way he played that character. Okay. He was just like an excellent mentor. That's what he was. That's why you say supporting role, because he was an excellent mentor. Of course, given the people in the supporting role nominations here, I knew he wouldn't get it, though, so let's go through those supporting roles.
Okay, so we have Christian Bale in The Big Short, Tom Hardy in The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Sylvester Stallone for Creed, and Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies.
So I'm going to say, because he got it for the Golden Globe, and again, I think because he's like the big hopeful to get it this year, and I would definitely go on that bandwagon. I think Stallone should definitely get it for supporting.
I think Stallone's easily the favorite here.
I've seen him in that movie. He's an excellent. Again, he's kind of like what I was saying with Colin Firth, but he's like he's the mentor of the film, but he's an excellent mentor, and he's also kind of the heart of the film in many respects. He carries that movie.
Monkey apparently says that Christian Bale did jack shit fuck all in The Big Short.
Really?
So, yeah. Monkey is like very baffled at Christian Bale's nomination here.
Seems like he's very anti-Batman this year.
I don't know. For me, man, I think I would love either Tom Hardy or Mark Ruffalo to get. Look, I understand the sentimental quality for Creed, and I'm sure Stallone has a great performance, but Tom Hardy played one of the most memorable villains I've seen in a long time with The Revenant. He was haunting in that movie. Easily Tom Hardy's best performance I've ever seen.
I gotta tell you, that's another thing. I kind of wish there was a separate Oscar category for villains in movies. I really do. Sometimes, yeah, because
that sounds like something the MTV Movie Awards would do, though.
Why is that so? Don't you? There are villains in movies. Okay, let's make peace with that fact right now. There are villains and antagonists in films.
Yes, and I'm saying Tom Hardy was one of the best, and that's why he should get some recognition.
It's like I'm not saying he doesn't deserve recognition. I'm saying I wouldn't lump him in kind of supporting. I wish there was kind of like an antagonist category.
No, he is supporting to Leo, because Leo definitely makes up the bulk of that screen time in that movie.
But
also Mark Ruffalo was also absolutely fantastic for Spotlight, and Mark Ruffalo is kind of turning into one of these guys where, like, he's always really good in movies, but it's just like there's always another performance that's just bigger than him.
Yeah, but if I were to rank just kind of like who's in the running, it'd probably be like this Mark Rylance is probably at the bottom of this. Then it's Christian Bale. Then it goes to Ruffalo, and it's really between these top three: Ruffalo, Hardy, and Stallone.
I would say so, but I think Stallone. I would be surprised if Stallone didn't get it.
Yeah, it's between Hardy and Stallone. From what I hear, all the buzz about Hardy, but I'm going to say Stallone. It'd be the novelty of Stallone getting it, but also I think he really deserves it in the movie too. Okay. I haven't seen Hardy though, so bear that in mind.
Oh, he's fantastic. I mean, oh my god.
And again, he's
super memorable.
And this antagonist thing, it's done wrong. Like, am I happy Heath Ledger got it for
the most interesting thing about Tom Hardy, though, in The Revenant, is that he's an antagonist, but he's also an antagonist that makes some damn good points about survival.
Yeah.
So.
It's like with the Oscars. I mean, of course, am I happy Heath Ledger got for supporting actor? Of course I am. But still, he had a villain category also. That would be excellent too. I don't see why a villain category would kill the supporting thing at all.
I don't know. Anyway. Anyways.
Yeah, getting to the last three, folks.
Mm-hmm. So, actress in a lead role, we have Cate Blanchett and Carol, Brie Larson in Room, Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn, and Charlotte Rampling in 45 Years.
Now, you have a snub.
I have a snub, yes. My snub is Lily Tomlin for Grandma, but Grandma is just one of those movies that just kind of fell under everyone's radar, I think. So
again, Oscar movies have terrible marketing.
I guess so.
I'm saying the ones that are directly meant for the Oscars have terrible marketing.
So fucking Jennifer Lawrence, man.
Well, what's wrong with Jennifer Lawrence?
She's just turning into an Academy poster child where they nominate her for every single fucking thing she does.
She's Meryl Streep's protege.
Yep, she is.
But I heard Joy had some good buzz around it.
Everything I've heard about Joy is that it's very, very, very mixed. I've heard Joy is very full of itself and up its own ass about like, oh, look how good of a cast we have. Oh,
yeah, that's the main thing.
Bradley Cooper. It's fucking. Oh, it's Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence again. Don't you love those two?
Basically, it's kind of like the Silver Linings Playbook Jennifer Lawrence performance. It's like her amongst the many great actors, which I'm not saying she.
I wouldn't even say it's as good as that. I would say that it's just like a copy of that at this point.
I'm just saying, it's from the trailers. I mean, that's the main thing that kind of drew my eye. Like, oh man, it's got all these big names with Jennifer Lawrence in it. Okay, Jennifer Lawrence, as we can tell by the X-Men movie, she's a good actress, definitely. And of course, for most people, it's the Hunger Games. But for me, it's the X-Men movie. But the point is, a good actress. I think she's in the running. Definitely, it's between because again, she's become a new Meryl Streep. I guess that's the idea. But it's really
I don't think she's in the running.
I'll tell you, I think it's between two people for her. It's between Jennifer Lawrence and Cate Blanchett.
No, I don't think I honestly think out of all of these, I think Jennifer Lawrence has the least shot to win.
Really? I know Cate Blanchett's usually kind of the other running one.
Oh, I think I think it's between Brie Larson and Cate Blanchett.
Well, you don't think Jennifer Lawrence is in the running?
No, I don't think. I just don't think Joy is a strong enough movie, and I think.
Well, I mean, I know.
I think Jennifer Lawrence is lucky to even be fucking nominated.
No. I mean, who's. I mean, I know she shouldn't win, but I mean, you think she will win.
No, but what I'm saying is that I just don't think the groundswell for Joy is strong enough. I don't think there's any way that she can win.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just for them. It's them squeezing her in, but again, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say whether she should not have been nominated or not.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be between Brie Larson and Cate Blanchett.
In that case, I think Blanchett's going to win. I really do. And I don't have any problems with that because I like Cate Blanchett. I can't wait for her to see her in the I Love Lucy movie. I can't wait for
I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't heard much about that recently. I hope it doesn't get shelved.
I really wonder who they're going to get for Ricky Ricardo.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Speculation, a buzz about that.
Yeah, but
I can maybe see John Hamm.
So you've seen Brie Larson in Room, and she's
yes,
good
she's
right?
fucking fantastic.
So I'll take your word for it's between those two, but I'll bet you.
I think the interesting thing about Room, though, is I feel like the little boy in Room is more the lead character. So that's one thing.
Well, something just dawned on me, Tiki.
What?
I didn't notice this before, but Cate Blanchett, she was in Carol.
Yeah, she was in Carol. Yes.
Suddenly, I didn't notice that until this moment. I was looking at Reagan Carol.
Get out of here, Carol.
Carol, just go home, Carol. Carol's welcome from some of these categories. Let's make that clear.
Please, Carol. As a matter of fact, she is Carol.
Carol, no, not that Carol. Get back here, other Carol. Come on. Anyways, I'll bet you Cate Blanchett's going to take this one home.
I'm really, really pulling for Brie Larson.
I'm getting a sense Brie Larson's probably deserves it. But I'll bet you just for kind of the cachet with the name Cate Blanchett's going to win.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, well, no,
oh, you know what's funny? I don't know if they ever told you this. When they were doing the way they got Kate Blanchett for How to Train Your Dragon 2 is they got her at the Oscars and they told her about the role. Like at the Oscars, she was like working on like the whole dragon summoning thing in her fancy dress. It's really awesome. I mean, Kate Blanchett's an awesome actress, so give her props there.
Okay.
Anyway, Jennifer Lawrence. I want to say she's a good actress, maybe not for that movie though.
All right. So best actor in a leading role, we have Bryan Cranston. Yay. I'm so happy to see him finally in this position. It's so cool.
I'm so glad he's nominated. That wonderful man, that Cranston.
Matt Damon, Leo DiCaprio, Eddie Redmayne, and Fassbender.
Well, it seems like a really strong actor race this time around. Really strong. All of them seem like strong choices. I don't think Damon's going to get it, but I think they're all strong choices.
I don't think Damon's going to get it. I don't think Redmayne's going to get it.
Yeah, right. It seems two reasons. Redmayne.
Yeah, Redmayne just won last year, and also Jupiter Ascending really hurt its reputation.
Wait, he was in that?
Oh, he was one of the biggest running joke parts of that movie. Yeah.
With Redmayne too, it seems like he's. I'm getting kind of tired of this with the Oscars. It's always like if you have a lead actor trying to be a woman, I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. I'm just saying the actor is portraying someone going through the transition of some sort, becoming a woman.
Well, I mean, I just think it depends on the movie more than anything else. You know what I mean? If it's done well, then it's compelling.
It's starting to become a pattern, though. Don't you notice that it's starting to become a pattern with the Oscars? It's like those are the ones that always win.
Well, I don't think. I mean, you had Jared Leto, but what's the pattern besides Leto?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't judge it. It's same with the Dallas Buyers Club. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying it's noticing that it might become pattern if he wins for that.
I don't think Dallas Buyers Club was a very good movie, by the way.
That's fair. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying, of course, you always hear about the Leto performance on that one.
Yeah, the Leto performance is good. McConaughey's good. It's definitely an actor's movie, but I just didn't think the story was really that engaging.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying is this seems like they're trying to capture a lot of Leto's thing with Danish Girl. That's what it's seeming like to me. It's seeming like that could become a pattern. That's what I'm trying to say there. I don't know what.
Okay, anyway, if the Academy wants to piss off DiCaprio, they're going to give it to Fassbender.
I just really hope DiCaprio's not going to have like a bomb vest underneath saying, "That's it. I've endured so many years of being overlooked. No, Mark Cranston, give me that Oscar."
I would love to see Cranston come in and take it in kind of like a dark horse kind of way, but I do think it's a two-way race with Leo and Fassbender. I do think Leo's going to win, but I said,
let's face it, it's between our big three horses in this race. It's between DiCaprio, I guess, in the lead because of all the past Oscar attempts in the past. But also, again, Fassbender, from what I hear and just what I can observe in the trailer, he did a fantastic job in that film. And of course, Fassbender's always great. That's no surprise there. And of course, speaking of someone who's always great, Bryan Cranston, up for the nomination. It's basically we've been looking for an excuse to give Bryan Cranston an Oscar at this point. Let's just give him an Oscar.
That's basically the reason why Bryan Cranston might win. Is basically what you said right there.
I would love him. I don't care what the reason. I want him to win Oscar because he just. But seriously, I think the competition's really good for that. And from what I hear, DiCaprio did a good performance. To be honest with you, just from what I've heard. Again, it's more like kind of like a lot of growling. I'm not saying it's just growling with his performance. I'm just saying he goes through a lot.
No, you're absolutely right. It is a lot of growling. I mean, he loses his voice for a good chunk of this movie.
I'm just saying, just judging from what I've heard, it sounds like it's more. Again, not to say it's not impressive. It sounds like more. It's kind of somewhat for show. It's more like it's like the guy throwing himself into the role less than.
Well, it's more physically demanding than it is kind of delivering, great dialogue or anything like that.
That's the thing. I mean, that's impressive, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if that's the one DiCaprio should win for.
Whereas Steve Jobs is a movie that's all about, Steve Jobs just treats dialogue like it's fucking porn. You know what I mean?
Let's get the Fassbender just a moment here. There's one more thing with DiCaprio. Just, with DiCaprio, it's like, again, as much as I would hate to be the guy who has to decide to not give DiCaprio the Oscar, but seriously, as much as it pains me to say, I don't think DiCaprio should win for this one. He should win for his next one. I mean, I don't know.
I honestly think Tom Hardy like overshadows DiCaprio performance-wise.
That's
really
the thing.
do.
I mean, DiCaprio's been working so hard at the Oscar. You don't want to just get a winner for like going all wild for a role. That's the thing. I mean, it's not that he doesn't deserve it. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not saying
he got raped by a CGI bear, Blue Dragon.
Okay, let's not feed that media thing. All right, let's not feed that ridiculous Hollywood rumor.
All right.
That bear, it was all consensual, Tiki.
No, it was not consensual. Whatever that bear did to Leo, it was definitely not consensual.
Well, they got coffee after and everything on the set. Okay, but seriously, what it boils down to, again, I get a sense you want DiCaprio to finally earn the Oscar, but not for a role where he's just kind of just begging for an Oscar.
I think that's unfair to say with this
I don't mean to say that in derogatory fashion. I'm saying a role. It's like you see DiCaprio literally throwing everything at it to get an Oscar in many respects. Not just to get an Oscar, but like a performance where he's just kind of. It's like the performance that we see. Okay, it's someone doing something extreme and he gets an Oscar.
I saw on Facebook just a joke where it's like, what if someday someone makes a movie about Leonardo DiCaprio never getting an Oscar, and the guy who plays Leonardo DiCaprio wins an Oscar?
That sounds hilarious. But back to our other two contenders here. I think we should say something about them. Both of them are in an interesting position here, Tiki, where they are both portraying someone in real life, obviously.
Absolutely.
And they both have done again, from what I hear about Trumbo, again, it pains me out of all the movies I wanted to see this year. I really wanted to see Trumbo. Unfortunately, the stars didn't align for me on that one. But between those two, I mean, it sounds like they both really threw themselves into, kind of getting the cadence, getting everything, like becoming these guys. And again,
I've seen bits and pieces of Trumbull. I'll say that much, and the performance is definitely very convincing for Cranston.
Oh yeah, of course, Cranston doesn't really need to sell me on like him giving an excellent performance.
Oh yeah.
But again, like Fassbender,
he wasn't really trying, but that's a different story.
Who?
Argo.
Well, let's not get into that. Anyway, seriously.
Argo, fuck yourselves. Now give me an Oscar because I'm self-referential.
Okay, but back on Fassbender.
I'm sorry.
So with Fassbender, again, he's playing against, like, it's kind of like in the Tom Hanks position where he doesn't look like the guy at all, but the acting is so good it sells you on it. And again, as you said, I haven't seen the movie myself, but the way you say it, the words are like porn for this man.
Yes, absolutely.
So again, it's like the man who lives for words. He lives for talking to an audience. He lives talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds what it sounds like. And again, it sounds like really. And Trumbo seems like such a fascinating thing to put a character through. Which again,
basically, it's kind of like an exact opposite thing with Leo and Fassbender, because Fassbender is almost entirely based on dialogue, and Leo is almost entirely based on like non-dialogue.
I'm gonna tell you, Trumbo and many of those, it sounds like it's kind of the ultimate testament to Hollywood and a guy kind of succeeding through a system that's keeping them down, which in may just saying that makes you really want Cranston to win it,
Mm-hmm.
I think Cranston has, out of these points, I think Cranston has the most substance. Fassbender has the most kind of immersiveness in becoming that character, and DiCaprio has the most like effort put into it.
For sure, I would agree with that.
That's the thing. That's what it boils down to. Three fantastic actors really giving their all for a role in many different, different strengths. And it's impossible to handicap these three, really.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like personally, I think DiCaprio is going to get it, but Fassbender probably has earned it. Cranston in my heart is the one I want to win.
All I know is that if DiCaprio doesn't get it, I want to see his face.
Yeah, we gotta record that or something to see the Chris again. By the way, we have nothing but luck for Leonardo DiCaprio. We just feel bad for him with all these Oscar snubs. But anyway, seriously, that's what it boils down to. Again, I think DiCaprio is the one that deserves it. That probably give him a pity Oscar. Let's be honest. We're gonna give him a pity Oscar.
I wouldn't call it a pity Oscar because that was an 8-month role, and it was probably a miserable 8 months. No, I would not call it a pity Oscar.
I don't know, and saying it's like the Oscar committee realizing,
I don't think his role in The Revenant is as strong as his role in like Wolf of Wall Street.
That's what I'm saying. I guess pity. You're right. Pity Oscar is the wrong way to look at it. But so the Oscar committee saying, we just snub this guy. I'm worried he's going to kill us if we don't give it to him this time. I'm worried he's going to turn us into a new bear skinners. You saw him in that movie. He's going to skin us alive, man.
And if you see The Revenant, I think that is kind of like part of the strength of his performance in The Revenant is that you do believe that Leonardo DiCaprio would fucking murder you.
I would love it if DiCaprio was somehow able to, like, when they have the actors that go to the stage and talk about the movie and stuff. I would love it, or like, talk about the other categories when they announce nominations and stuff. I would love it if he was just saying, and I hope these guys win an Oscar. I would love it if he just had like kind of that, like, I better get an Oscar. But again, lastly, yeah, I think DiCaprio is the one who's probably going to get it because he's been overlooked so many times. Fassbender's probably earned it, like he's the one who should get it, and Cranston's the one I would love to get it.
Oh, I would absolutely love it if Cranston surprised us and got it.
Personally, I just want Cranston to get it. I don't think he's going to, but I would love it if he got it. That'd be my favorite Oscars ever if Bryan Cranston got an Oscar finally.
Okay, but you know what? I think just Bryan Cranston being nominated is a good sign.
It is.
And encourages him to do more roles like Trumbo.
Yeah, and again, folks, let's an undercut. Just the privilege it is to get nominated. I mean, DiCaprio knows this from many times. Being nominated. No, but seriously, being nominated is an actual achievement. It's like saying, "Hey, look, we overlooked so many movies here. We're picking you."
Mm-hmm.
That's an achievement.
Okay.
Like people that snub a lot of things. You were accepted by the popular kids. That's an achievement. And it's true.
Let's get to Best Picture. We have Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Fury Road, Martian, Revenant, Room, Spotlight. Well, I can think of 2 movies right off the bat that don't deserve to be on here.
Unfortunately, I have seen none of these movies with the exception of a bit of Mad Max. Unfortunately.
Inside Out should have gotten Best Picture nomination.
Yes, that is
straight up. I'm pissed that it didn't happen. I'm not surprised, but I'm pissed.
I'm peeved. I'm very peeved. I'm just saying, Inside. Again, it's some of Pixar's best films have been nominated. They broke the mold. They were nominated for Best Picture, in addition to obviously winning Animated Picture. They were nominated for Best Picture, which is an achievement. Looking at Beauty and the Beast.
Up and Wall-E were nominated for Best Picture, right?
Well, no, Up and Toy Story 3.
Oh, Toy Story 3. Okay, I'm sorry.
Not that Wall-E probably didn't deserve it, but the other.
No, Wall-E. Yeah, that's right. That was 2008, and that was the year of The Dark Knight as well. Okay.
Yes, Wall-E got it for screenplay, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, point is, since Beauty and the Beast, that really hasn't happened since the Pixar films came along. He just rewrote the book on filmmaking essentially with the film. With Up and of course Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this movie again. It's in Pixar's. For me, it's in my top 5 of Pixar because again, it's just so wonderful and embodies the creativity in its blue meth form. Essentially, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's what it is. It's just it's the perfective creative spirit of Pixar. Just kind of brought back from the early days and kind of with all of the stuff they've learned in years since, just applied to a script. It's a simple story with all the complex emotions that tell a funny story, but also a story of so many interesting parallels and so many meanings. So even for children and adults, something children and adults can love.
Mm-hmm.
Equally together in very different ways. It's a movie about your kids growing up that you haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It deserved it for this one. Again, it's one of Pixar's finest. It definitely deserved it.
We praised the hell out of Inside Out. So
that was the big thing, though. I remember that was like when it first came out, we were saying this one definitely deserves to be nominated. We know it's not going to win because of the Oscars bias. We know that, but it definitely should be nominated for Best Picture. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, because I haven't seen any of these, bear in mind, if it were nominated, I would say it should win because I haven't seen any of the other movies.
It would be up there. It would be up there if it was nominated for me.
Like if it was between Inside Out and The Revenant, what would you pick?
I would say Inside Out, but I honestly probably my choice for Best Picture this year would probably be Spotlight.
Well, with Spotlight and Inside Out, what are you thinking?
Oh, that would be a tough one, honestly. That would be tough.
And I can't weigh on that one. You have to. Yeah.
I would probably have to go Inside Out, but it's hard to argue against Spotlight, though. Inside Out was a breath of just such fresh air and just such purity of entertainment. Now, Inside Out and Fury Road, that would be the real interesting contest.
Oh, come on. Inside Out, hands down.
Well, I'm just saying they're both such cerebral movies for different reasons.
Yeah, I'll just say from what I have seen, I do have to watch it again. What I've seen of Mad Max, I think Inside Out has it pretty cinched in that battle. Come on. So, let me kind of walk us through this, just kind of what I think the actual kind of ranking is for these movies getting an Oscar. I think Mad Max would be at the bottom of the barrel there.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm sorry, not bottom. I guess Brooklyn would be at the bottom. Sorry.
I think Brooklyn, Bridge of Spies, Big Short. I think all three of those are kind of near the bottom.
Yeah, I think The Martian would then follow that.
I actually think. Okay, I think Mad Max would probably be the top, like the bottom of the top four.
Yeah, I really don't think they're going to give an Oscar to Mad Max Fury Road, to be honest with you. That's why I rank it down so low. Because again, I'm not saying it's not. Again, personally, I gotta watch it again. But
the thing you have to keep in mind with Fury Road, though, is that it did get the second most nominations after The Revenant, and it got 10 nominations, so it got a lot of attention.
My
There's
point
a groundswell going on for it.
The reason I ranked it so low and what movies might get the Oscar, I rank it low because they're not going to give it to Mad Max Fury because it's really action heavy. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying that's their bias. That I never imagined them giving it to Mad Max Fury because of their biases.
I'm just glad it's nominated.
Which is good. Which is good. Again, if I were to, Brooklyn, they could just give Jettison out of there, put Inside Out in there. I would love that.
I've heard really, really good things about Brooklyn from Monkey, actually.
Okay, well, nothing against Brooklyn. We just need to make room.
I would jettison out The Big Short for sure.
I would jettison out something to make room for Inside Out in a heartbeat. But also, I hear really good things about Bridge of Spies, which is another movie I would be definitely down for seeing.
I hear really good things about the first hour of Bridge of Spies, and then I hear it gets really muddled and confusing. Which is a shame.
Bear in mind, because I haven't seen any of these, I guess the top four for me is what I've heard would be kind of boiled down to, I guess, Bridge of Spies, then The Room. Not The Room, but just Room.
I know. It's such a different movie from The Room.
Can you imagine if Tommy Wiseau remade that movie?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So not The Room, but if he did his own version of Room.
I almost might want to do a podcast on that at some point.
and I guess, is there an inner monologue in that film at all?
Yeah. There's an inner monologue.
That would be Tommy Wiseau as a little boy in there.
As a little boy. And the little boy does kind of have long, almost, dare I say, Tommy Wiseau style hair.
When I was a little boy. You know who sounds a lot like Tommy Wiseau?
Who?
Oscar Kokoschka from Hey Arnold.
Oh my God, he does.
Do you ever think about that?
Yes, I think we brought this up before.
Susie!
Susie, you're tearing me apart!
Sorry, folks, a mini tangent there. We're back on topic, though. Okay, but yeah, I think it's going to boil down to, unfortunately, if Inside Out was there, it might actually have a good chance of winning. That's the thing that makes it even more painful. I want to point that out. Revenant and Spotlight are big contenders.
I think it's a horse race between those two. I would definitely take Spotlight over the Revenant right now. But
to be honest with you, I think the Oscars they're going to give it to Revenant because the novelty of he won twice in a row. I think that's.
I think so too. Yeah,
it's going to boil down to the Revenant get it, but
12 nominations. I mean,
believe me, if Spotlight is sounding better and better the more we mention it.
You should see Spotlight. You should definitely see Spotlight. It's a great movie. I think.
I got to wait for a lot of these Oscar movies, but when they eventually find their way to me, I'm going to be watching those. Especially Spotlight's going to be at the top of my list.
I think you'd really dig it.
I mean, I'm sold with just the mention of Keaton and Ruffalo. I'm sold. Let me see that movie.
I think if any movie's got a chance to upset Revenant and Spotlight, it would probably be Room.
And Room also sounds like another good one I would like to see.
Yeah. Room is very emotionally heavy. Like, oddly enough, Spotlight, for as dark of a subject matter as Spotlight is, I think Room is actually probably the more depressing movie of the two.
Yeah, I don't mean to be a downer or just keep kicking DiCaprio while he's down. I just came with another DiCaprio Oscar joke.
What?
Okay, so let's say Alejandro he wins for the Revenant. It wins Best Picture. They're all on the stage. He's holding the Oscars. I guess either he holds. I don't know how they always how do you think movies handle the thing when they get the Best Picture Oscar? Who do you think takes it home?
Producers.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, producers take the Best Picture Oscar.
Okay, but let's just say, for argument's sake, usually on the stage, I guess. Alejandro, he's holding the Oscar. Don't the directors hold the Oscar before they hand it off to the producer sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that happens for argument's sake. Alejandro's holding us, just thanking everyone. The speech goes off, and you hear the Oscar music play because it's a long speech, it's a heartfelt speech. You understand that? I mean, Sean Penn insults you, you're gonna cry a little bit, then you're gonna walk off stage. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's all love with those guys from what I hear. But he's walking off the stage, the Oscar music playing, they have like DiCaprio with piano wire strangling him for the Oscar on the way. It's like in full view of people. He just gives them a look, and they all have like nod of like fear and worry of like, okay, we're not gonna mess with him. He's earned it. We kind of understand why we're not rushing to the phones to call 911 on him, but we're still very terrified. He just gives him a little nod of acceptance, of like, okay. He's like the Oscar falls to the ground. Everyone's horrified. They're looking at him. He looks at him for a beat. We cut back to him hard, like Cranston. Beat of sweat comes down. Bryan Cranston, and then he slowly reaches for the Oscar. He looks up real quick. They're all like, they grabs like slowly, like his character from the movie. And then he's out of there. He moves up. He lightens it. Like he straightens his jacket for a second. There we see poor Alejandro's body on the ground. They're lifeless. And then he waves to them all with a big smile on his face, like he's like a little way, like thank you everyone, thank you. Good to know. And he walks off.
BlueDragonFive, nothing can top that. I'm tempted to just end the show right now. Do you have any final thoughts?
Okay. Final thoughts here. Again, Inside Out was the big snub this year, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Peanuts was also the animation snub. Again, there are snubs you always have to deal with that with the Oscars, but again, I think there are some strong movies this year, and it's gonna be a big race to who's gonna win the Oscar this year for many of these categories. It's strong categories and strong performances. It's always a question of how we can defeat the Oscar biases, and if we can streak some fairness in the Oscars. If like the people that deserve it get it. We cheer for the moments when people we think deserve it get it, or at least people we like get it.
For sure, which is why Birdman getting everything last year was very, very much well-deserved.
And poor Michael Keaton putting the speech away, kind of pulling DiCaprio's like,
yeah. Oh,
like the sad Hulk. You know what they should have at the Oscars? They should have the sad Hulk music on standby for people in the audience for the reactions.
And the sad thing is, Michael Keaton, like, if he was nominated for Best Actor, he probably would have been right up there to win it again, but he wasn't even nominated for Spotlight.
Yeah, that's a shame. But again, that's the thing with the Oscars. It's always about striking a balance. You can never win oddly enough, you can never really win an Oscar. You can always just skirt by and like hope for the best.
Oh God.
But it's an event we're all gonna be tuning in for. It's the Hollywood Super Bowl. Really, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't, Tiki and I and many other people, we don't really give a crap about the Super Bowl, about any football events, any sporting events whatsoever. But we do care about our football.
I care about my Giants, San Francisco Giants. Yeah.
Well, aside from just not being run out of town.
That's about all I care about. San Francisco Giants.
But I think in consensus of not caring about sports, we do care about one thing. We care about Hollywood. We care about our movies. We care about the Oscars, even though it's always gonna bite us in the butt in the end. We do care about
the Oscars. Piss us off, and yet we care.
It's like we root for these people, even though we know we're probably gonna be pissed off by the end of this thing. But we're still rooting for a lot of people.
Right.
We're rooting for them. We're rooting for some bad jokes. We're rooting for some good jokes too.
Oh God. Okay, so with that in mind, everyone, I'd like to sign off this podcast the same way I signed off my reactions video by congratulating the Academy sincerely and humbly for making 50 Shades of Grey an Academy Award nominee. God bless you all. Have a good night, everyone.